Passman chapters 22 and 2 through 6, the recording industry. So let's talk about group issues, group-related issues in recording contracts. What happens if and when the group breaks up? What happens when someone wants to leave the group? Are there key members of the group? Question, is a breach of contract by one member treated as a breach by the whole group? It depends on the role of that group member. Record label rights to leaving group members. The label may ask for the rights to sign the leaving member as a soloist. They may ask to pick up the rights by any member leaving. They may want to keep the members who don't leave. They may want the option to terminate the members who don't leave. The group may ask for that clause to be excluded only if a key member leaves. You need to spell out the terms of a leaving member solo agreement. Usually the terms in the leaving member solo agreement are less favorable to the group's agreement. Advances may be less. Royalties may be less. The album commitment may be less. The royalty advance balance deficits. What happens to the group royalty advance balance when a member leaves? A common solution is that a prorated share of the group's deficit is applied to the soloist's new account. What happens with the leaving member's account if the group runs up a huge balance on future group albums? The leaving member will want to make sure that the group's future costs are not charged against them. Internal group deals. Most groups break up. That's just the reality of the situation. It's very rare for groups to last a long time, but some have. The Rolling Stones have lasted for a long time. It's better to work out the details when everyone is still on speaking terms. Think of it as a prenuptial agreement for a group. What is the most important asset to the group? The group name. This needs to be protected in the event there's a fight later on with band members. Decide on what happens when group members leave the band, i.e. the lead singer, the songwriter, the drummer. The group name issues. They're protected by a service mark, like a trademark, but trademarks are used for goods and service marks are used for services. How do you actually get the rights to a name? By using it, not by registering it, although that is ideal. Groups can file an intent to use. Extensive research needs to be taking place before deciding on a group name. Some group name issues. You can look on whois.com and US Patent Trademark Office, and also cocatalog.loc.gov, etc. Service marks can cost up to $2,000. Search costs recoupable from royalties. After the registration, the group needs to use it before 3 years after filing. It's published in the US Official Gazette. CTM registration covers 27 countries. Okay, let's just take an example. The band Chicago, which Professor Sermani likes. The band was formed in 1967 by DePaul University students as The Big Thing. Peter Cetera leaves the Exceptions to join the band. The band moves to Los Angeles in 1968, signs a deal with Columbia Records, and changes the name to Chicago Transit Authority. The first album was released in 1969. Then they changed the name to Chicago shortly after. And then in 1980, Columbia bought out their contract. Terry Kath, one of the lead singers, dies in 1978 in a tragic gunshot, self-inflicted gunshot. The Horns took a backseat when Peter Cetera and David Foster wrote many of the songs in the early 80s. You can see that on a special about David Foster. Peter Cetera, the lead singer, quit in 1985 after Chicago 17. The band fired the original drummer, Danny Serafin. Today, 4 of the original 7 members are still on the band. Actually, there's only 3 because Walter Parazater is ill. So it's just really 3. Robert Lamb, Jimmy Pankow, and Lee Loughnane. After 17 official members total, the band is still named Chicago with only 4 of its original members. No one can use the name if the group breaks up, regardless of how many of the members are still playing together. Any majority of the group members performing together can use the name. These are some options with group names. Only the lead singer can use the name. Only the songwriter can use the name. The lead singer and the songwriter can use the name only if they perform together. How does the group make decisions? Majority rules, one option. Key members make the decisions. Actually, with Chicago, they have a corporation with those original members, so they have a different role than any of the newer members. What about firing a group member? What about hiring new group members? What about if someone wants to quit the band? What if someone dies or becomes disabled? This is all like normal stuff that happens in formation of bands. Who decides on what expenses to incur? Who pays in money? Percentage of past activities for ex-group members. Then there's buyouts for leaving members. How will the price be determined for hard assets and intangible assets? How will the leaving member be paid? What are the contingent payment on past activities? Legal issues related to attorneys for the group and individuals. In terms of group structure, it could be a corporation, it could be a partnership. You will then need a written agreement between all partners. It could be a limited liability company. You will then need a written owner's agreement. Each member of the LLC is a member. And then the artist team. Now we're talking about the key people in the artist team, the personal manager, the attorney, the business manager, which can also be a CPA, hopefully they're a CPA, an agency that books gigs, fans, and how groups get started today. They form the group, could be in a garage, like my garage, come up with a group name, work out the group issues we discussed earlier, do local gigs and develop a following, build up a database for promotions, email and snail mail, social media, of course, is the biggest, then get a major record deal, right? Wrong. Today, you usually have to build a following first. You can't get a major record deal without a huge following first. Social media, connecting with fans, YouTube and Vivo and Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and Pinterest and Twitter and LinkedIn, Google+. These are just some of them. I have more details on the artist's websites and social media document on your Canvas page. Connecting with fans, MySpace/FM, Discovery Service, FanBridge, email and social media management, Vine, Mixcloud, Reverb Nation, Foursquare, social media, connecting with fans also. On ourstage.com, Social Unlock, built on top of SoundCloud, artists give away music in exchange for social interaction. Promo Simple and Hootsuite. And that's going to be end of section 1 of chapters 22 and 2 through 6.